Hi, Paul and Clark here, SEOautopilotcoupon.com. Just going to answer two questions I've been asked about Colinkri quite a few times. Colinkri is the new indexing tool that is an API call from SEOautopilot.com. It was released with 1.0.3.7 a few days ago. The two questions that are being asked, that I've written a little blog post for, and the link to that is under here, are: what is Colinkri, how does it work, because it is certainly not a normal sort of indexing, and what is the difference between crawling and indexing, because that seems to be a confusion among some people who sort of think that it means the same thing and they're not the same thing. So very quick video, try and keep this under 3 or 4 minutes. Google has crawlers, and typically a crawler is a Google bot or a bit of code, if you like, that visits your website automated via Google servers and looks at your website to see what is there. The first place it often goes, as this fuzzy little image shows, is the XML sitemap on your website and sees what it is you want indexing, what you've got and what you haven't got. However, I will say that if you don't have an XML sitemap, eventually most websites and most URLs are crawled anyway. Just an XML sitemap makes it a lot easier. So that's what happens. So what Colinkri does, it encourages Google to crawl, and to crawl quickly. Let's see how that works then. So Google crawls, and it crawls quickly. Does that mean you're going to appear in Google's index quickly? Well, at an improved speed and rate, yes, but it is not a guarantee. So there's a big difference between Google's crawling and Google's indexing. For instance, if you want to rank for a highly competitive keyword, and that's the only keyword you've optimized for on the page, let's say it's something daft that no sensible person would want to try and rank for unless they're a multinational company, such as iPad for sale. Google has a list currently of about 1,000 sites in its index for iPad for sale. If your new content and your new links are not better than any of those 1,000, Google will not give you a place in the queue. Here's a queue. Imagine these people are queuing up to be number 1 in Google's index for the phrase iPad for sale. This guy's number 1, this guy's number 2, this guy's number 3. And it will go on and on and on. Google tends to have about 1,000 results for each search term, but it can be many more. And in some cases, as you probably know, it's a lot less before you come to the DMCA warning about some being hidden. But whatever. If Google looks at your content and says it's not worth a place, it's the 1,001st best piece of content I've seen for that, and my index only goes to 1,000 for that phrase, your page, although crawled, will not be indexed. So the link that's on that page will not offer any value, because you need to get your link indexed. So it's very important that you add decent content that surrounds your links, because that's the difference 9 times out of 10 between crawling and indexing, is the content, the value of the content around it. So just a link on its own on a blank page isn't going to get you a lot, because Google isn't going to index that link, because what would it index it for? Blank page with link? I don't know. So that's still very important. So what Colinkri does, it uses a method whereby and this, I'm not 100% sure, and the guys at Colinkri won't tell you, but it is, you can work out from context if you like. They use what they call the frontier method. So they, I imagine, have either some very high volume, very high authority pages that Google would seem suitable or appropriate for the links on those pages to change quite often, or it has control of XML sitemaps on many, many different sites. When you submit your links to Colinkri for indexing, it's going to repopulate those pages or those XML sitemaps. So next time Google's bot comes, it will see your new links and your new pages, and because the site that they're on initially, or the sites or the sitemaps that they're on initially, are high authority and high trust and probably long lasting, it will then follow them. So this idea of a frontier is the sites and the URLs that Google has currently currently crawled are known as the frontier. The links that it has found on those currently crawled sites that it has yet to crawl are beyond the frontier. So what the guys at Colinkri do is they put your links on that frontier, so Google is primed to crawl them next. Now it's about 14 days since I started using Colinkri. I've gone from a 35% first 14-day crawl and a 28% first 14-day index to an 88% first 14-day crawl, and a 79 point something or other, just under 80% first 14-day index. Almost 3 times better, which is very comparable to any other indexing tool that I've ever used in the past. So this is a really effective method. It's also nice and clean. It doesn't fill the web full of spam. I imagine the guys at Colinkri clean down once the link has been properly crawled several times. It's cleaned down and replaced via whatever proprietary method they use. It's a good, clean way of doing it. As you probably know, most indexing relies on permanent or semi-permanent links being stuck on high traffic websites that will then find your last tier of links, and they're never replaced or removed. They just add to the general weight of the internet. But this method adds to the weight of the internet temporarily, but by any method I can come up with, these guys must work, they'll be replaced or renewed and refreshed. So it's actually a much cleaner and neater way of doing it. It gets your stuff indexed. You can if something hasn't been solidly indexed enough, if they've only gone to your site and crawled it, they haven't indexed it, you can resubmit. Per link, it's very cost effective, and of course if you use SEO Autopilot, especially through SEO Autopilot coupon.com, you get a very healthy discount on the ability to to use this method of indexing and crawling. Okay, so that's Scritty at SEO Autopilot coupon.com signing off. Sorry this has gone on for 6.5 minutes, but there we go. That's what Colinkri does and how it works. Cheers, bye bye.